It's Jonesy and the man is cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and the man is cutting room floor. Yeah, 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 yeah.
The show was so full today, we missed out on talking about Richard Simmons and what he was buried in.
Well, this is the thing. He was put to rest October 5 in St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans, or St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. And his brother has spoken out about the ceremony, and he said he was going to let the crowd in on a little secret. He said not too many people know this. Just like Clark Kent, underneath his beautiful things he was wearing, presumably in his casket, underneath his clothing, Richard's wearing a tank top and shorts because he was asked what his brother was buried in. Why, you ask, he said? Because we think that God has another plan for him, and we want to make sure that he was going to be in his normal costume that we all know and love to help the saints and the angels get into shape.
Do you think that the saints and the angels in the afterlife, they'd have good rigs, I reckon? Because you're an ethereal being. So you're not going to weigh much to begin with.
Yeah, but we all see pictures of this big, gowns. Who knows what's underneath?
Yeah, you just always imagine that you're on a cloud playing a harp.
I would be really annoyed if I still have to be concerned about my weight in the afterlife. I'd like those worries to disappear.
That would be, imagine you get up there.
And you go, great, I'm still concerned about my guts.
Well, I got to get on the treadmill now, St. Peter. Yeah. Come on.
We've spoken about this before, about what you wear in the casket. Is that, I don't believe in this kind of stuff, but is this what you picture? That when you go to the pearly gates, you're in what you died in or what you're buried in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting case because when you look at movies, I'm thinking of Beetlejuice, for example, in the little purgatory room there, they're all dressed in how they died, like a fighter pilot dressed as a fighter pilot and a guy that had his head shrunk by a little head shrinking tribe. He had a tiny head, that sort of stuff. That's what I imagine. Because
I think it's probably maybe the casket thing is you just want your loved one to look their best. Though, is it your version of their best or is it their version of their best? Like if your family chose to bury you as little Bo Peep, so you have to go up to the pearly gates and go, this was a joke.
So St. Peter
family did. Well, remember that story that Kirstie Alley tells? I think we may have spoken about this on this podcast. Kirstie Alley from Cheers and all those movies, her parents were killed in a car accident a number of years ago. And she divulged on a talk show that they were on their way to a fancy dress party. So her father, for some reason, was dressed as a Klans member.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to imagine.
Yeah, and the mother was in blackface.
Yeah, that's right. That she was in blackface. He was dressed as a Klan member. So if you go to the pearly gates like that to say, hey, this wasn't us, this was a fancy dress, it's still an offensive act.
Of course.
But when people die like that, they wouldn't be buried like that.
No, not at all.
See, that's the thing. You want them to be buried in the best version of themselves.
Yeah. But with Richard, they've put him in his exercise garb underneath
the respectful clothes.
Yeah, so perhaps my family would respect my wishes and put my little Bo Peep outfit underneath.
Your leathers.
My bike leathers, which I'm wearing today.
Which one? Little Bo Peep or bike leathers?
Well,
You know. Hope we haven't offended anyone with this talk.
It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
A lot of stuff ended up on the cutting room floor today, and this one certainly piqued my interest. A male job application returned to a woman after nearly 50 years.
This story is quite extraordinary. She spoke to the BBC about it. She's a British woman, and she applied for a job as a motorcycle stunt rider 50 years ago. You know what shocks me is when you hear 50 years ago, I think 1940, she sent off this application in 1976. I know. Anyway, it was her dream job as a motorcycle stunt rider. And she said, I wondered why I never heard back. Now I know why. And she said, it's really weird. She's moved house about 50 times. She's moved countries 4 or 5 times. And it found her. But she said, I remember sitting in my flat in London typing the letter. Every day I looked for the post, but there was nothing there. And I was disappointed. She said, I really, really want to be a stunt rider on a motorcycle.
What did the letter actually say? Do we know?
It was a job application, And she recently received it with a note saying, late delivery by the Staines Post Office, found behind a drawer. 50 years late.
Yeah, I just wonder what they said, whether she got the job or
Well,
not.
I don't think that they even found it because they found her letter.
So it never made it.
It never made it. She said this didn't stop her from pursuing her daredevil instinct. She went on to perform jobs that included being a snake handler, an aerobatic pilot, and a flying instructor.
Right. Because that is curious. That's whole sliding doors life. Imagine if indeed that letter had got through and she indeed had got the job. She could have been lining up to jump 16 buses or something
She
like
could have
that.
been Edna Knievel.
Edna Knievel and have a swathe of broken bones.
You never know. But this is classic kind of job applications where you send it off and people don't even bother getting back to you anymore.
Tell me about it. TV are the worst offenders of this.
Yeah.
You name a TV show, I have auditioned, or I don't audition, they screen test. They go, hey, come and do this.
Yeah.
And in the end, they want Grant Daniel or Osher Ginsburg.
Well,
or
I'm still
Larry
waiting
Elder.
for a call back from Simon Townsend's Wonderworld where I'd been there as a researcher and then a reporter left and he said, oh, do you want to do it? And I said, yes, and I haven't heard back since.
Well,
that was
maybe-
in 83.
Yeah. I remember a show called Mondo Thingo many years ago,
yeah.
hosted by that lovely Amanda Keller.
On the ABC.
Whatever happened to her?
I wonder.
Anyway, they approached me and said, would you like to be Amanda's co-host on this show?
I put your name forward.
You did indeed. And you ended up going with
Steve Kinane.
Steve Cadone.
He looks like you, but
Yeah.
worked at the ABC.
I remember being at the audition, the screen test, and we'd, great chemistry.
Well, we knew each other.
Yeah.
So we chatted just friendly-ish.
And then I was looking up at the monitor and they ran Steve's tape. And I went, and I thought it was me for a second. I thought I was looking at myself in the monitor. And then I realised it wasn't me. And I said, hey, who's that? And they said, oh, Steve Kinane. I said, he looks like me.
Looks like you, but had a lot of ABC-ish things to say. He's now a US, an overseas correspondent, an incredible journalist.
And me.
And you were there too.
And I said to them, I said, well, he works at the ABC already. And they went, yes. And I said, well, why don't you just give him the job?
Well, no, I wanted you to come in and, have a go.
Have a go.
And how did you go?
Well, I didn't hear back. So what would happen is I would ring the lady, Kath, I think her name was. I'd ring her and I'd say, how are we going with the Mondo Thingo thing? And she said, oh, look, I can't tell you. And I said, so it's a no. Oh, no, it's still a maybe. And I went, oh, okay. So I'll come in then. It's a yes. Oh, no. And this went on for some time.
When the show waxed.
And then I ring her from time to time. Just, hey, Kath.
Still.
It's Jonesy. Yeah. How are we going with Mondo Thingo?
Yeah.
Well, so I'll come in and,
Yeah.
I'll come and work there.
And look, the show was axed maybe 25 years ago, 20 years ago. Do you think you still might be in with a chance?
I could be in with a chance.
Maybe. You never know.
With that nice lady from the television.
She liked you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Get ready, everybody, here's some more. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
What's ended up on the cutting room floor today, Amanda?
Well, it's something very unsavoury. And I apologise, but you wanted to talk about this. So don't make it sound like I'm bringing this to the table.
What are you saying? Have I given you a bit of a hospital pass?
Very much so.
Look, it's a podcast. This is what you do in podcasts. Have you not noticed on podcasts?
I've got a podcast.
Of course. And you just talk about whatever you want. In the Abby Chatfield world of podcasts or whatever she's doing this week. Is she still doing podcasts?
I don't know.
From week to week. Next week, she'll be making cement on a building site. I just discovered this. How good is it? Anyway, on a podcast, you can talk about whatever you want.
Well, this is the thing that Jonesy has found fascinating.
Not fascinating. This is the world that we live in. It's an indictment on our current society.
Well, normally in the world, humans complain about it when they step into dog poo in parks.
Yeah.
This
Bad
woman
news.
is complaining because she's got a white fluffy dog.
Yep. And she's a dog walker, is
She's
that
a
true?
dog, is she? She's a dog owner.
I thought she was a dog walker.
But she is sick of her dogs finding human number twos in Bondi. So that's where we are in the world. Humans or dog owners are complaining because their dogs step in human poo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the beautiful people. The house is full of furniture. The garden's full of plants. This is the world.
No, it's the other way around.
The house is full of,
The garden's full of furniture.
The house is full of plants.
How freaky.
Sorry.
The house is full of furniture. The garden's full of plants. What freaks are these?
Sorry, I was being clever by prophesizing the future according to James Raine, an Australian crawler
Which
in the
no
80s.
one's ever bothered to do.
Until now.
Well, she's called out Bondi's public poopers, and there's a terrible photo that she's posted of a big white fluffy dog that's rolled in something dreadful. And have you ever been somewhere when that smell hits you? You know
It's the worst.
it's the worst. And this biologically is what keeps us alive, because as humans, we recoil from that smell.
Yep.
Because we know that's human, that's lavatory, that's unclean and maybe diseased, and to stay away. So unfortunately, her dog's been rolling in it. What she's doing is she's speculating as to why there are so many.
And why?
Well, I don't know. She said she thinks it must be early morning joggers who do a number 2 when no one else is around, when the urge comes to them and they're too far from home.
That's what happens with the poo joggers.
And then you get used to it and you do it there every day. They talk about people who have a coffee and then have to go and do one. Jogging must bring this on.
You have the same situation whenever you go into a public library.
I do, but I don't. Yeah, I do.
You go to the facilities.
I use the facilities.
Of course.
But there are some places where you are, and furniture shops, I get it as well. And you know what I discovered? In those big furniture warehouses and housing stores, not all those toilets are plumbed in. Harley's often spoken about an ad that was on New Zealand television a number of years ago, talking about a toilet, and it said, you don't have to plumb it in.
Yeah.
I said, well, why would I plumb it in that anyway?
Away from that, this lady has said...
Are we going to talk about it more?
Well,
you talk about it. You. I don't want to read that, but you read it.
Well, she just said that her 2 dogs make a beeline to the pile of poo and then start eating it like a delicacy. Do dogs do that?
Yeah, they do. They love it. She's also said that the locations that these number 2s are in ergonomic spots. What does that mean? She said it's like they've sat down and they've conveniently done it. What does that mean?
So maybe it's a little mound or something like that. They can.
Do you know if you get caught doing this?
Yeah, well, what's the fine?
Maximum 3 months in jail.
Oh,
imagine being in prison. They say, what are you here for? I'd say I murdered someone because I'd be too embarrassed to say I did a poo in a park.
And I liked it. Don't knock it till you've tried it. What's on the cutting room floor today, Munch?
I want to ask you if you've ever been burgled, and I'm not asking if you've been burglarised, because that's no such word. And I know you like to say someone was wearing a burglar cap. It's burglar cap. But that aside, have you ever been burgled?
I'm very security conscious.
Are you?
Yeah. I've got like man traps.
Is your door like Maxwell Smart?
Yeah. I've got like locks on locks. I've got nails. I've got flamethrowers.
And yet your wife leaves the garage door open.
Yeah, that does drive me crazy. Although we've got a house now, we've got 2 garages, so I don't give a rat's about her garage.
It doesn't lead into the house?
If someone wants to steal some weed feed, fine.
What?
Weed feed. I don't know, weed killer. I don't know, whatever the junk she keeps in her garage. And some ancient golf
She's
clubs.
growing her own stash.
Then fine, but my garage is like Fort Knox.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is that it'd be a horrendous thing to be burgled.
Yes, it would be.
Terrifying. But what about what happened here? This man broke into a woman's house. He hung up her washing and left her a glass of wine. He sorted through her laundry load. How embarrassing. I wonder if he separated the colours from the whites. He left her a glass of wine and wrote a note after breaking into her house. His name is Damien, and if you want to look him up, please do, because I'd like him to come to my house. Polish name. He broke into her house after she left for work and started doing household chores. First of all, he cooked himself a meal. Then he helped himself to wine. He hung out the laundry and he wrote a note saying, don't worry, be happy, eat up and scratch. What does that mean? He also topped up the garden bird feeder and rearranged her pot plant.
What's with that?
What's with that? The prosecutor has said this is a very unusual burglary. There's been consumption of food and alcohol. The victim spoke to her neighbour who said she'd seen someone hanging the washing on the line. So he also cleaned floors. He emptied a recycling bin. He put away shopping, rearranged household items before making a getaway. And what's really interesting is he struck again 2 weeks later. A similar burglary, he went to the victim's summer house. He washed that person's clothes, a man's clothes, waited for them to dry before eating the householder's food. The victim had security cameras fitted and they were watching the burglary unfold on their phone, but he was stuck in traffic. They contacted a family member who confronted the defendant and asked him to leave and then contacted police. He was arrested. 2 counts of burglary. Well, does that mean he had to have stolen something? Probably he ate their food.
I think it's break and enter.
Break and enter, stole food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is a man. It's not Paula Duncan. Got a call from Mr. Fryer.
Tell you what, if you're going to get burgled, be burgled by someone like this.
Yeah, I'd like to be burgled by something like that.
Puts your shopping away, does your washing, pours you a glass of wine, takes out the recycling.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's in it for him.
Maybe he just gets off on being nice.
Or maybe
that's a thing.
Maybe he gets off on just being in a home. Maybe he lives in a place where he doesn't have access to those sort of amenities where you can do your washing and sort your stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes being cozy.
The fear of being burgled is a terrible fear. Do you feel that?
No, I don't, and maybe I should. My mum got burgled a couple of times to the point where she found it almost liberating in a sad way that she stopped thinking that things mattered because she'd lost a few good things that had been stolen.
What did they steal?
See, I was younger, so I wasn't living at home. But now I'd like to know what all those things were and wonder whether they had emotional attachment to mum. But in the end, when she would go out, she would the people who do this, they put all their jewellery in the freezer or mum would put her handbag inside the washing machine with towels on top of it and someone found it.
Really?
Apparently that's a very common thing to do.
Inside job?
Unless, my dad.
Or Cameron?
Oh, how would they find a washing machine? Unless it was this burglar who was trying to do the washing and found a handbag.
The helpful burglar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put my jewels in the fridge once after my vasectomy.
Shrunk them right up.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.